right, guys, here we go. Thought you wanted to see a bit of the loading screen. I know I did.
Yes.
I love the loading screen.
It makes me pumped. I'm ready for this game.
It means that exciting things are about to happen.
Yes, especially on Kulas Ravine.
Exactly. See, this map is like, oh, we're not going to show you any Xel'Naga towers on the loading screen. We don't want you to get a little bit intimidated.
Boom.
Yeah, you can't really see them, you know? I mean, they're a little bit hidden.
Yes.
You have to look very closely, right?
I just pointed out all 10 of them for you, though, so.
You did. But there are 12 destructible rocks.
That's true. We can't point those out because we're in the game.
Enough of that. Yeah, that's right. And here is our first player spawning in the bottom right from Complexity. It is Minigun. And in the upper right from the team Check 6, formerly of Slayers, it is Sleep. And I don't know if he's like just a big fan of sleeping. When I've met him in person, I've been to some events with him. Hasn't really slept more than really any other player, so I don't know. That's just thought I'd throw that out there. Just in case people were thinking he liked to sleep a lot. I haven't really noticed that in my interactions with him.
I think I've noticed when I've met him is he's incredibly lanky. So he's a very lanky person, very lean guy, taller guy as well. So, but anyway, the map is Kulas Ravine, as we pointed out before. There are 10 individual Xel'Naga towers. Same set mirrored on the other side. There are also many, many sets of destructible rocks, as you can see. There's even some inside of your main that head up to this natural by one of those many Xel'Naga towers. And then even another set of destructible rocks to make it into that natural. So it takes, if you wanted to, through force of will, you could actually move directly through all of those. Oh, looks like
that's true.
A little bit of technical problems there, but we're good to go.
I just turned off my own monitor trying to move it, but that's okay because you've got one as well. So I will look at your monitor. This just means that we're going to be closer together.
Yes.
For this match. It's fine. The angle wasn't very good anyway. It's good. We've got it fixed now. All right. So Minigun has made a pylon.
I know. Yes, an astute observation.
I didn't want to really
spoil things for everyone.
I didn't want to go too heavy into the analysis just yet. So I thought I would just start. We want to build up. We want the suspense. It's like an episode of Lost, right? You're not going to give the big reveal in the first 5 minutes, right? So why would we want to?
This is a reveal, though. We have an extractor coming out. Now, of course, if we were playing on a normal map, something we would see in the tournament scene right now, we have probably seen a couple more hatcheries, a lot of roaches, maybe a tech transition off of that pretty early on in the game, if he wanted to. But now we do actually have gas coming up, so it looks like he'll be saving up for speed very, very early on in this game. Yeah, well, I mean, going for this type of opening is definitely the safest thing to do. I mean, the thing is if you go for obviously hatch first is very dangerous. He's putting down his hatch right now. Actually, that's a very early hatchery for Sleep. Usually it's around 20 supply you get that hatchery down if you're going to be going for a little bit earlier gas upgrade. But I don't know. That's interesting. I admit I was fiddling with my monitor, so I didn't quite catch all the timings as well as I should have. But it seems a bit interesting. Now, here's the thing. We're going to probably see Minigun try to abuse this in some way. There, of course, is a cliff above the natural expansion. You can get up behind there through the destructible rocks. It becomes a little bit dangerous. Yeah.
So Sleep is definitely going to have to look out for that a little bit at least.
Second gas coming out now for Minigun, and we talked to some of the players that were saying that they have to relearn their Sentry expands all over again against Zerg players. This is one of those maps where it's could be important because of how difficult it is to try and forge fast expand. So a gateway expand is certainly the more safe option here for a Protoss player.
Yeah, and I mean, really with the natural location, even though there's two relatively small chokes leading into it, once you get through those chokes, you're going to have a nice big concave if you're coming into the natural expansion. So that's definitely going to be something Minigun's going to need to worry about. I wouldn't even be surprised at all if we saw him break through his own back rocks to get up to that high ground expansion and take that as his natural instead of the regular standard quote-unquote natural expansion on this map.
And kind of interesting out of Minigun, he decides to put down... Okay, his gateways are just kind of oddly timed more than anything else. He is going to end up going into a 3-gate. We'll see if that becomes a pretty quick expansion. Has enough gas saved up, of course, that he can start pumping out a ton of sentries very, very early on. But no robo to speak of right now, so we'll see how aggressive he wants to get off a one-base player, how quickly he'll take that expansion in the very short term.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It's like actually one of the most standard games we've seen yet in the old map tournament, or YOMT, as you can call it. Maybe if we're pronouncing, the Y-E as a sound, it's Thomped.
Thomped.
Which reminds me of Thwomped from Mario Brothers.
Ooh, Thwomp.
Thwomp, yeah.
Yes.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
That's
yes.
the thing, man. You got to avoid those if you're playing Mario Kart.
That's true. They did spell doom in Super Mario Kart to me a few times.
Bowser's Castle, you bounce off one of those things right in the lava. That's the end of it. You're getting 8th place for sure.
That's a lot of races for me. That's actually, you just described a significant portion of my childhood.
It's okay. It happens to everybody. All right, Sleep does scout the natural expansion. And Minigun, how much has he really seen of his opponent quite yet?
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, he's gotten in there, seen quite a bit. Seen the gas, he's seen the spawning pool.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know about the Evo chamber.
Well, as we can see, it looks like Sleep is saving up for another expansion, as he does have a lot of resources. He is slowly going through those destructible rocks. I do mean slowly. Yeah. He's only got 2 Zerglings on it right now. They do 2 damage per hit with no upgrades. 14 more Zerglings on the way, though, so Sleep will start to get a little bit more proactive about knocking that down, and we'll see another hatchery or something along those lines very, very quickly. Minigun, though, with a forge up at the front, 3 gates, and another gate. So no robo quite yet, actually moving up to a 4th gate and a forge potentially for a very strong +1 attack or something along those lines.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising one bit to see him go for some sort of 4-gate pressure. And I mean, Sleep is getting into the point in the game where he's going to start to sort of prepare for some sort of aggression. He's got his Roach worn down. He's made a good amount of speedlings in case it was something really early, like a 4-gate or something. But, you know, he knows with the Overlord that he has in position, I suppose the Zergling as well, that it's not going to be anything too terribly crazy from Minigun. Yeah, those Overlords are actually in a really nice spot there for Sleep.
Very much so. +1 weapons is on the way as well. Now for Minigun. Back on Sleep side of things, he finally has taken out that set of destructible rocks, planning on taking that 3rd and restarted gas mining once again.
Blind Spore Crawler. This is looking like a ZVP from like a year ago. You remember when Zergs were just going like Blind Spore Crawler because all the Protoss were either going Stargate or like even if they went once in a while DTs, you'd still be prepared for that at least.
Yeah. And Zella getting trapped there, so Sleep able to clear that out pretty easily. He is just sitting on 44 workers at the moment. Of course, has only been working off of 2 bases and thus that many injects. So, but his opponent's expansion was quite hampered as well due to the fact that he needed to gateway expand out of this. So both players going into kind of traditional things that we're used to seeing out of today's games, but it's taking a lot longer to get there.
Well, the engagements on this map are going to be really, really interesting. I mean, you've got the widest area really is around the Zelnagatar, the area that Minigun is going through right now. If Sleep's going to engage anywhere, it's going to be around this area. Like right now, basically, is the wider part. But it's going to be difficult either way. I mean, Sleep, I feel like, is going to need to do some significant damage early on, get some wins. Looks like here comes a push from Minigun.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if this one's going to work out as well as he would like. He's forced to expend a lot of force fields already. He's going to kill off a few of those Zerglings. A few more units coming out, though, for Sleep. A few Spine Crawlers are established as well. And, that was a lot of lost energy. He did kill a lot of Zerglings, though, so we'll see if it was worth it for Minigun.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the danger of the chokes for Sleep, but it also gives him an opportunity to put a lot of Spine Crawlers down there. It looks like Minigun's just going to try to walk around the outside, though.
Yeah.
Sleep going to be able to push him back.
I don't know. We'll find out. All 3 of the Spine Crawlers are now starting to attack. A couple of transfusions going off as well.
Behind.
Links from behind, and the first few Roaches did pop out as well. So Minigun actually taking a little bit of losses here.
They came from behind.
And he's pushed back quite a bit. Tried to put down a forward pylon as well, but that's going to get cleaned up right away.
Yeah, Sleep actually handling this really, really well. He's got a decent supply lead right now, about 30 supply or so. And look at that. A lot of the units from Minigun already pretty damaged. So Minigun's going to need to sit back, kind of get a little bit higher tech, it looks like. Bide his time, maybe take a 3rd and think about moving out later.
All right. Well, Twilight Council is coming down, but of course no robo in sight quite yet. Sleep, on the other hand, moving up now to Aspire. And as soon as, of course, I move away, Minigun puts down his own robo. So Spire and Robotech coming up for both these players right now.
I actually really like the decision to go Spire by Sleep. There's so many cliffs you can kind of abuse with Mutalisks. Fly up, hit the mineral line, fly back over the cliff, get out of vision really fast. So I'm not surprised at all to see him going for this, especially because he has 3 bases up and running really well. He's even got a 4th on the way in a place that Minigun may not see for quite a while. Although, what is that by his 4th base?
Pylon.
Is that a pylon? Okay, there is a pylon already in position to warp things in if he ever does decide to scout it.
And Robo now about 75% of the way finished. Spire only about halfway done now, but we'll finish up in pretty short time. As we can see, Sleep it does have quite a bit of gas production now, working off of 6 Vespian geysers. Could go up to his 7th as well, starting to connect these bases actually around the north, going through those destructible rocks to get that done.
I feel like Sleep did a little bit of homework on these maps. He certainly is seeming to use the maps better than we've seen him do in previous matches. He's kind of taking the initiative. You know, he's breaking through rocks that might cause him danger later on. He's playing like a Zerg that is used to these maps right now. He's playing like a Zerg that we saw back in the day, but look at this. Minigun doing something that we saw back in the day quite a bit. On the left side of the map, there is a gold base being snuck.
Yes, there
Sneaking.
is.
Snaked.
Snucked.
Snookied.
Snake. Snucked. Sounds like the, what's that song from How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
There's a lot of songs in that, man. All right, here comes a big roach push from sleep. Defensive force field's going down. Oh, roaches trapped in the cage of death.
A cage of death, there's not a whole lot of DPS here, so Minigun's going to be able to get a few of these, but it's going to take really good control of the zone out. The rest of the units, a few of the Zerglings are making their way around the side, though, and, actually just running back into that little pocket of death once again. So Minigun more just holds off the army rather than inflicting a significant amount of losses. Sleep, though, reinforcing with 10 more lings, and Minigun's control has been pretty good with these force fields so far, I've got to say.
Sentry energy is getting low, though. He's running out of death.
Yes.
That death ball.
That's true.
And 11 Mutalisks on the way right now for Sleep. He's going to be able to start putting on a lot of pressure on his opponent's economy with those. Yeah, Sleep just looking so good right now. 161 supply to just 110 for Minigun. Now, Minigun is getting some tech. He is adding some Immortals on, but I feel like to a certain extent it may even be a little bit too late. Now, here's the thing, though. Sleep needs to scout that gold base. If that gets up and running, that is going to be a big problem.
Well, we'll see here as burrows all of the units, but of course there is an observer sitting overhead, so a lot of things are going to die. Nice move there by Minigun, and a little bit of a blunder out of Sleep, unfortunately.
Look at that. Sleep actually has a Zergling patrolling back and forth between the bottom bases, but does not have anything going through the golds, which is really what you want to look for in Scout. In fact, he's actually sending some units down to break through the back rocks, it looks like.
And yes, he is. So this is going to be a pretty dastardly attack. I mean, this is a map where you have a lot of entrances into your opponent's base. Minigun starting to hit a pretty critical amount of units, though. Our first Mutalisks are now on the field, as we can see, 18 out in total.
Yes, indeed. And Minigun, he has to be careful with this. He has to make it look like he doesn't care too much, because if he does, then Sleep is going to get an idea. Oh, man. Oh, I can't believe he doesn't see that pylon. Oh, but he definitely sees the probes transferring. That's for sure.
Now he's got to know. Yep. Now he's got to know. There are a couple of photon cannons and a zealot in position as well, so Minigun's going to be able to hold on to that for a while. But excuse me, but at the same time, a lot of Mutas swinging around the right-hand side of the map, and some probes are going to die. It's going to force a warp in or move back here from Minigun.
He could kill that Robo if he notices that he's got this opportunity. We'll see. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going for. And will he get it in time? Looks like he will, but he might take a few losses. Very nice kills off the Robo.
Yeah.
Did he even lose a Muta? I think he lost maybe one.
No, he did not.
Lose any. Yeah.
Nope, didn't lose a Muta. A few more photon cannons coming up now. Minigun's going to have to react to some units very, very quickly. Yep. All the photon cannons getting canceled or outright killed. Finally, a couple more zealots are making their way in, but these Earthlings have certainly done more than enough damage.
Yeah, this is such a cool kind of style by Sleep to just go so attack upgrade heavy. He's got +2 melee attacks finished now, +2 missile attacks is on the way, +2 flyer attacks is on the way. It's a very damage-intensive army. What are the upgrades right now for Minigun, by the way? I haven't been...
Let's take a look. Just +2 weapons.
+2 attack. All right, everybody's getting plus attack.
And Sleep did manage to break down the wall, so he's making his way into the natural. He's going to delay those stalkers for such a long period of time. These Mutas starting to go to town on a couple of probes. Well, I thought they were going to try and target out some of those pylons and depower buildings, but actually, Sleep not getting a lot of work done with those Mutas.
Well, he's being kind of careful right now. You know, he knows the Mutas are kind of the big advantage that he has, so he doesn't want to really risk anything with it. I think he's just playing really safe at the moment, and he's going to try to do some damage here. That should be enough humans. Oh, yeah, Lings from behind. Easily enough units to take out this base.
Yeah, Minigun unfortunately losing quite a bit there. May even lose that base altogether as the Mutas now swinging back in one more time, picking up yet more probes, going to go after some of those pylons as well. So we can see 45 workers to 70 at the moment. There's the GG, and Sleep takes game number 1 of this best of 5.
Yeah, and takes it quite